Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. And today we're addressing a heartfelt question from a listener undergoing evaluation for Parkinson's disease, seeking out guidance on reducing spontaneous body tremors. Remember, the insights that I share are complementary and should harmonize with your personal health journey and any advice from your healthcare providers. So let's look at understanding tremors in Chinese medicine. In Chinese medicine, tremors are viewed as manifestations of internal imbalances, particularly involving the liver and the kidney energy systems. They're not just organs, they're a whole system. Disruptions in the smooth flow of qi, which is your vital energy, and blood can give rise to what's called internal wind. It's not flatulence. It's really about a chaotic condition that kind of gives spasms and tremors all around the body. These involuntary movements, such as tremors, twitches, spasms, any of those kind of Bell's palsy, twitchy eyebrows, addressing these imbalances involves nourishing the body's yin and calming the excess yang energy. We really want to keep a smooth flow of blood, which is governed by the liver, and a nice grounded essential energy, which is governed by the kidney. So addressing both of these through dietary choices is really a great way to start. So to support yin and anchor the body's energy, incorporate specific foods into your diet that really encourage yin nourishing properties. Walnuts are a really great yin food. What do they look like? They look like brains, and they have such a complex range of minerals within them. They're really good for supporting kidney energy and yin. The kidney governs the winter of the body. The winter is that still, quiet, deep time where everything is in transition, just waiting for the rising of spring. So any foods that really nourish the kidney energy in Chinese medicine would really help to calm spasms and tremors. Seaweed is a fantastic yin nourishing food. Again, a complex range of minerals such as magnesium, manganese, copper, calcium, amazing source of all these minerals, which will help to calm tense, tight, spasming muscles. Barley is another grain that is really cooling for the body. I know I recommend it a lot for urinary tract infections, but it's also really good for nourishing any yin aspect of the body. What we want is really develop this yin cool, calm energy from the body, nourishing the kidneys. So conversely, we want to really limit yang foods. And these yang energy foods, such as refined carbohydrates, refined sugars, and alcohol, they introduce heat and agitation to the body. Now, sometimes we want heat and agitation, we want movement. If you think about if you've got a cold and you're all mucousy and sticky, you actually want warming yang foods such as ginger, garlic, leeks, and even to a degree a little bit of chili. That's really yang warming food that helps to expel the internal viruses. But if what you're talking about is you want to really reduce the tremors, we want to really avoid the yang foods and keep it really yin, making sure that you've got plenty of water. Water is fantastic, hydrating the body and nourishing the kidneys. So let's move now into Qigong. The Qigong, Qi, energy, which means energy work. Gong means work. So what does that mean, energy work? Well, it means with our mind and body working together, we can actually have some degree of control over the energy. So sometimes that might be that the energy is all rising, and we get kind of really hot-headed, or we get anxious because it's all here, and we need to descend the chi, learn how to descend it. So that is energy work, learning how to work with this chi and energy. So gentle, flowing movements in Qigong can really help with the smooth flow of chi and blood, because sometimes when we're getting really tense and stuck, then the blood and the chi cannot move and flow freely, and you might find you're even more jittery and agitated. So using the Qigong and the flowing movements combined with the breath, using the breath and the movements together really help. Now, I have a free class at the end of each month, so if you want to try Qigong, really sign up for my free class at the end of each month. But I'm going to share here with you, because some of you know that my husband Davey has Parkinson's. So we work together to really reduce his symptoms so that he can live well with Parkinson's. As of yet, there isn't a cure, but there is always ways to manage your symptoms, especially because some of those you can't see. They're actually what you feel. Maybe you feel with the tremors kind of quite overwhelmed. I know I was talking to Davey preparing this answer, and he was saying sometimes before he did the Qigong, he would feel that the tremors were kind of taking over his very mind. He couldn't even think clearly. So what we can do with the Qigong is use the movements and the mind so that the symptoms don't overwhelm you and you can live well. So I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of Qigong now, and we will practice together. Before practicing though, Davey also said that he really needed to acknowledge when he was beginning his Parkinson's journey, he really had to acknowledge that the tremors were there. Forcing them to go away just gave him more stress. So acknowledge the presence of your tremors without allowing them to dominate your focus. You can reduce the amplification of the sensations. Use these mindful practices such as Qigong combined with the deep breathing, and that can assist in fostering the deep state of acceptance and therefore tranquility. Tranquility isn't necessarily found in peaceful spaces, it's absolutely within. So let's practice first. We're going to amplify the shaking so we can open the body, release the tension, and finally we're going to use the kidney and bladder channels to really smooth the chi and ground the energy, making your body and your emotions have a real kind of sense of presence no matter what the bodily sensations are doing. Okay, so first of all, find a space around you. You can do this sitting or down, but I'm going to show you how to do it standing up. So first of all, you want to find a space, and you're going to stand feet hip width apart. My knees are slightly bent, tailbone is slightly tucked under, as if you've got kind of a weight tied to your tailbone. And if you're shaking now, we're going to amplify that shake. So take your attention to that tailbone and to your belly button. You can even place your hands on your belly button, and this is where we're going to shake it from. So really get your hands there and give it a shake. And as this is shaking, now start to really shake. Shake it from your belly. Really shake it through your hips. What I want you to do is change your weight to one leg and really imagine that that energy, that shaking, is shaking down that leg. So inhale, exhale, shake it through. Other leg. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, shake it through. Inhale, big belly. Shake it through. Right down those legs. Right down those legs. Inhale, shake it through. And now your arms. So inhale, big belly. Exhale, one arm. Let the energy flow up and down to your arm, really to the ends of your fingertips. Take a belly breath, exhale, shake it again. Now an all over body shake through your shoulders. Make sure you've got space under your armpit, because the thing with Parkinson's is often we can really tense up the body trying to control it. What we're doing here is absolutely the opposite. We are shaking and opening the body, amplifying. Shake it through your head. Shake it through your head. We're amplifying. And now let it come to stillness. And inhale through the nose. Exhale, big belly. Exhale, belly button back to the spine. Let's take a few calming breaths. Open. Imagine all the energy going to the tips of your toes, tips of your fingers. Exhale. Squeeze it down. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze it down. Imagine that energy coming back down to your lower belly. Inhale, expand. Tips of the fingers, tips of the toes. See if you can feel that energy traveling to the tips of your toes, tips of your fingers. Exhale. And imagine now you're pushing it like a spring back down to the lower belly. We're going to do one more of those. Exhale. And now we're going to smooth the energy through the kidney and bladder meridian. Kidney and bladder meridian responsible for the bones and the whole nervous system. So just watch me first and then I'll break it down. Now I turned, you don't have to turn, I was turning so you could see it. So we're going to inhale and the hands are going to go around to the kidneys. Say hi to the kidneys, and then we're going to exhale and we're going to let the hands just sweep down the hamstrings to the back of the knees. Let the head fall. Let the head fall and the weight of the hands, and then inhale, hands are on the inside of the legs. Roll it up. Hands come up either side of the midline, flick it off, and then down we go again. Let's combine that with the breath. Inhale, rub the kidneys. Exhale, sweep the hands down the hamstrings. This is the bladder meridian. If you can, come down to the little toe. Inhale, put your hands on the inside of your legs, drawing up the kidney meridian. Flick it off. Exhale, hands facing down, descending the energy. Descend, descend, descend. Let's do another one. Make this the last one. Inhale, rub the kidneys. Say hello, kidneys. Exhale, sweep it down the back of the knees. Knees are bent. Let the head drop. Inhale, come up the inside, over the pubic bone, either side of the midline. Flick it off. And down. Bring your hands over your lower belly and just see how you feel now. Just connecting in. See if you can feel more grounded. Perhaps the tremor hasn't gone, but you've gained this sense of yourself. This will also work for anxiety or anything where you're feeling really overwhelmed by physical symptoms or emotions. We're linking the breath and the lower belly, clearing the mind. Taking a breath and exhale. So I really hope that that helps and helps to answer your question of how to reduce the shaking. So hopefully it has actually reduced some of the shaking, but really what we want as well is to regain our own sense of ground, that we're not being lost to the disease. Yes, we may have Parkinson's, but Parkinson's doesn't have us. May you be happy, safe and well. May I be happy, safe and well, and may all beings everywhere be happy, safe and well. Good morning, afternoon or evening when you are watching this. We are going to do the rabbit springs. Now, rabbit springs is part of the 8 triagrams set. And a triagram is what you've seen in the I Ching, where you've got the lots of dots and dashes. And we look at the belly as a triagram, okay? So we're going to be going around the belly. We're going to start with liver 13, which is at the end of the floating rib. We've got liver 13 there. You might remember that from your scratching monkey. And then we're going to come into spleen 16. To find spleen 16, you find your belly button, 4 fingers, not the thumb, just 4 fingers, and then come out to the line of the nipples. And that is spleen 16. And you've got 2 of those, and that's called the Great Lament. So they're great digestion points. And then you've got CV12. So find your belly button, the whole palm, and CV12 is in the middle. So you can see it's kind of almost like a little diagonal. We're going to start on the right side and we're going to move around to the left side and then work our way down. Find the top of your hip bone. So that's called the iliac crest, and then fall off that into the squidgy bit. So we have got valves here. We've got the sigmoid valve and the iliocecal valve. And sometimes they can get a little bit blocked up and a little bit stuck. So physically, that's what we're doing. We're taking and we're moving and massaging, and we come round over the top of the pubic bone and around. You can see here's the iliac crest, and I'm just massaging on top of that. So I'm getting that squidgy bit and I'm getting that valve. Now, if it's painful to use your fingers, then just use the palms of your hands, okay? So there are always ways around it. And also I have the chair, the stool, because I'm going to show you how to do the sitting down as well. So that's part 1. Taking the bear paws. Let's just go from liver 13 up and around and then down, up and around and then down. So you can see that my pelvis is turning under and my body is turning around. So I've got already this massage worked out. Okay, so I've got some looseness in the hips. Okay, and we follow the direction of the colon, the ascending and the descending colon. All right, so this is your triagram. Okay, when I edit the video, I'll put a picture of the triagram there. So this is your triagram, and you're going around all points on the triagram, because as I said, rabbit springs is taken from the 8 triagram practice. The other thing that we're going to use is we're going to use dragon's breath. So dragon's breath is normally scrunching your face, scrunching your hands like a prune, breathing in and then breathing out. But I don't want you to force out the tongues and make your eye pop. What I want you to do is remember and imagine that your tongue is actually kind of really attached to your belly here, right down into your belly. So as you breathe out, you're breathing out that tongue, okay? You're really kind of, it's not like you're straining. I don't want to see any strain in your, and I don't want you to feel strain. This isn't about pain and strain, okay? So as we go around, this is the movement I want you to make, and it's called tilling the soil. So we just press and massage in, press and massage, press and massage, press and massage, okay? So we've got the triagram, and now we've got the lion's breath. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to start by learning wave breathing. So I want you to take your hands onto your kidneys, breathe in, stick your chin up to the ceiling and your bum out like a duck, breathe out. Chin comes down to the pubic bone, breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in and out. And so we've loosened and opened that bit there. Now I want you to put your hand on your belly, your hand on your chest, and we're going to do wave breathing. So the breath comes in through the belly, up through the chest, and then as we breathe out, pretend you're about to sit on a chair. Scoop under the pelvis, open the chest, and sit on the chair. Breathing in, up, out, down. Okay, so we've got the whole kind of aspect of the rabbit springs going on now. We've got those 3 different parts. We've got the points, we've got the massage, and we've got the breathing. Oh, and we've got the tongue as well. So release that and we put them together. And how we put them together is we use kind of throwing away the trash. But instead, I'll take my socks off. Instead, you're going to see I'm not going to come up on my toes. Kind of throwing away the trash, you normally come up on your toes and down. Really, for rabbit springs, you keep your feet firmly on the floor. Okay, your feet are firmly on the floor, but we still reach up behind us and open up the conception vessel. And then as we come down, start over in liver 13. Okay, so we open up and we squeeze the glutes, so we protect the lower back. And then we breathe out. And as we breathe out, and it's 3 times. Have a glass of water around, because after you've done this, you might want a glass of water. But don't become too worried about the mouth getting dry. It will produce a lot of saliva. And in Chinese medicine, saliva is known as the great elixir. Really need to be producing saliva. And it's said that as we age, we stop producing so much elixirs. So don't worry that you're actually going to be stimulating more saliva, which is part of the digestion process. And this is what this is all about. It's helping you digest, absorb and assimilate, make whatever you've digested yours, and then excrete and eliminate. All those 3 aspects with rabbit springs. Okay. Now I'm going to also just demonstrate for the stool. So for the stool, same thing. We're going to be breathing in, up, protecting the lower back. And then as we come down, now obviously you're not going to be able to get as much scoop, but you can still use that. Be careful not to hunch your shoulders up, okay? Don't bring tension to the shoulders, but you can still 1, 2, 3, open it up. 1, 2, 3. All right, and you can work your way around the triagram just the same. All right. Okay, so I think I've demonstrated enough now. So let's do the full practice. Let me open that a little bit. Okay, stand in Wuji position. Sink it down, tailbone down. Align, Wuji, openness. Feel nice and open. Breathing in. And Coming down. You can make bear paws and roll around. Up the right, down the left, following the ascending and descending colon. Let it go with the shoulders. I feel like I got a little bit tensed in my shoulders there. So let them go. Connect heaven and earth. Doesn't that make you feel alive? Feeling really alive. One thing that maybe I forgot to say is that when you've done the 3, you'll find that the body automatically wants to throw the hands back. So don't take another breath. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, and then open up again. 1, 2, 3, open up again. Have a beautiful chi-filled day. May you be happy and may you be well.